Today we want to talk about the CS education Machogu bans morning, night, and prep. Says classes should begin at 8 a.m. and end at 3:45 p.m. Now that is the topic of discussion today. I don't know what you guys think, but for me, I don't think it's a good idea. Due to the fact that we all went through the system and everybody did, so it's really gonna be challenging. I don't know what you have to say, Chris.
Okay, first on that matter, it's a bit tricky based on all angles: students, teachers, the society.
Yeah.
We say children are the people, leaders of tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, come to think about it, if we let's use us as an example.
Yeah.
In our times, preps meant a lot to us.
Yeah.
You understand, pupils and students need coaching a lot.
Yeah.
I think one of the main effect and one of the main issue about that statement that was made by CS was Machogu is that now when it comes to the rich and the poor, I think that is the main basis of class, the upper class and the lower class. You see, students belong to lower class or working class people.
Family.
Most of them, families don't even cannot afford the kind of education that the upper class can afford. You see, that's why most of the lower class and working class families, children need more time to be coached. You get they don't just come home and sit down and wait to go to school tomorrow. They have to come home, rush to do something, and like the upper class people where they have got everything done to them. You get the power of money. You get. Now, one major thing that I saw as a big effect is the CS is trying to crop a culture of poverty. Why? When students are not constantly instilled with knowledge, when they are not constantly monitored, you get, they tend to stray away.
Yeah, they become lazy and
you understand.
It doesn't matter.
No, the freedom of students, you get. Me for an example, if it could not have been the extra classes
and DAWNS,
yes, all that Kujituma, I could not be where I am right now. Even you too, you just agree that most of us actually. Now think of this: a student who goes to school from 8 to 3:45, that's about 7 hours or 8 or so, and a student who is in school from who starts studies from 5 in the morning to 9 in the evening. What is the scope of that gap of knowledge? That gap, you understand? Now that is the major issue. If we try to fill that gap rather than removing it, our students will be more intellectual, more disciplined. You understand? Because it's not just about studies; it's about discipline, time. So my main issue about that is the kind of culture the CS is trying to cultivate in the near future for our kids. Kids will grow up with so much freedom. They would find time to constantly engage their minds. You get, because these other times, you understand, it's just like quiet time. Most of the time, in the evening, early in the morning, those are the times when the mind is considered very sharp to catch stuff, to get knowledge, to retain. You get, to understand. Now, if we let that gap go, that whole gap, I think the basis of school is just going and coming back home. Because you go sit there with the teacher, after the teacher is gone, you come home.
So it's like you're all in a day school.
Yeah, it's like a day school, in fact.
So there's not going to be a difference between day school and boarding schools anymore.
Now,
because
yes,
in day schools, okay, sometimes teachers go extra and students also take themselves to an extra mile so that they achieve whatever thing they want to achieve.
Yes.
You find that the student, when it's all day school, watu wako nyumbani, they will be waking up and going to school at 8, and they come back at 3:45. They come back, maybe they have homework. Okay, but again, you see, there's gonna be a lot of trouble between parents and students.
Yes,
because
that's one area. I agree.
Yeah. There's gonna be really big problem between students and problems. Another thing for me, Magara, I'm coming to you.
Yes.
Another point is, I think the CS is trying to leave a legacy, but the legacy is gonna destroy the whole education system.
Yes.
Because there's no way you're telling me, bro, these kids are in boarding school. Let us first deal with the kids in boarding school. You talk about boarding school, you go to school after class. After that 3:45 p.m., you go for games. You go and serve supper. And then what happens in the night? That is the question. What is happening in the night?
Yes.
These people are going to have more than 12 hours of sleep. More than 12 hours of sleep, bro. Because if he's telling us that gonna be no dawns and preps, then he has to give the education system
an alternative guideline.
Yes, an alternative guideline that they're gonna follow through.
Yes.
To keep these students busy in the night and busy in the morning.
Yeah, I think before my brother Magara speaks, now that thing about alternative guideline, if the CS is trying to do away with the dawn and evening preps to students, why don't you give an alternative of how these students will be engaged after classes? You see, one thing about this directive is that they are doing it in the wrong manner.
Yeah.
The current CBC system allows kids to be at school from 8 in the morning to 3:45, which is 4. And now they go home to do other activities related to what they were taught in school. Now, when this system is forced into the high school education, now realize this: what will I as a student be doing after 3:45 p.m.?
And you know, on that, most of the kids in high school right now, we did not grow up with this innovative culture as the CBCs are. We grew up that let us go to class, let us go to class, let us go to class, let us go and read. You see? But if now you're taking this reading away from us, what are you leaving us with? You see? Because if I'm in school, bro, I cannot even when you're at home, you have peace, comfortable. You cannot even start sleeping at 7.
Of course.
In the night, you cannot start sleeping 7 in the night until tomorrow. You see? So there's gonna be a lot of trouble in high school because this is the time. You know, when you guys are busy in the night, you don't even get time to do other things. None. But now when you guys are idle and free, is when the things like drugs start popping up.
Yes.
Sneaking starts popping up.
Yes.
People start being rude because now the CS is protecting them and the teachers have no say.
Yes.
Another thing, bro, there are teachers in the BOM, I guess almost all the teachers, they were benefiting from these preps and morning dawns in a good way because they were going extra to make these people whoever they were. Imagine now you are cutting all that support, all that finance that was coming through that to the teachers, and now you guys are going to leave these teachers with nothing at table. I think it's very hard on the teachers and the system right now.
Very hard.
Yeah, Magara, I don't know what is the take.
Upon me, 100% supporting the CS decision for allowing these students to have a lot of time. In the sense of saying that they're going to be having from 3:45 to 8 a.m. in the morning. With the new curriculum, the competence, the CBC competence-based curriculum, it's more about what a student can do rather than what can you give the students. You just, with this new system, it's what the student has and then you add something on it. You add the complexity of what that student is having. So with the CS allowing that the students should be having this a lot of time, as it sounds, it just sounds
a lot of time.
Because personally, I was using this good time that we call it, what do you call it? Remedial time to sleep. Actually, it was my very good time because I have done 7 subjects the whole day.
Through the day, and even more.
And even
No. There are 11 lessons.
There are 11 lessons in
Yeah,
fact.
But
in a
7
day.
subjects.
Yeah, seven subjects.
7 subjects and
Yes.
11 lessons.
Yeah.
And before you choose, actually you have to do the 11.
Yes.
Yes, all
Before
of
you
them.
choose what you're gonna be doing and what you're gonna be doing. So 11. So
Yes.
just say the basic 11, but 7 but 11 lessons.
Yes.
Lessons in a day. And then someone in the evening now when you're tired, you need to free out yourself and then engage your mind in an activity that will now your mind. And so that at least you can get back to the system when it comes tomorrow. The only time you'll be having to even discover yourself is the time you are sleeping. And that time you cannot discover yourself. You need some time alone to think about yourself, to think about what you want,
Nice.
to make sure that
is
you manage
great.
what you have in, to make sure that whatever problems you have in, you can even solve them yourself, or you need a team to solve it. Okay, that moment you have to realize yourself. So the CS given this good directive, actually I should, if I had power, I would support it in kind of a way, but so unfortunate. But again, I'm very happy about what the CS did, in the sense that by the curriculum that we have now is competence based. We don't need to feed these students what, the system is kind of a way was restricting us. Now that we went through it, it was restricting us in kind of a way that this is the rhythm that we want to be following. There's nothing you should be even knowing outside it, because it was kind of a system in the sense that, chemistry is a must. Mathematics is a must, and you must know mathematics to pass, or for me to know that Chwanya is a genius.
Yeah, is clever.
A genius or clever, I have to make sure that he knows mathematics, or by the gauge of mathematics. With this thing of making sure that Maranda is the best school in the whole country, in the sense that when the exam is released, Maranda is topping. But now think of a situation where a student is competing with himself, competing with what he can do and what he has not done. It will be a good thing. If, for example, I can raise 100,000, but I have raised 20,000, that inner motive, that inner push for me to make sure that I was to reach 100,000, but I have not, is what I think this new directive is gonna bring
Offer.
these students to. Yeah.
Chris, you want to object?
I want to object something.
Okay, before you do.
Yes, before.
My question is, all this time that we're talking about, what is the alternative in you discovering yourself? Are you given this time alone, or you put through a task to help you discover yourself, or to go through the things you're going?
In my thinking on that, because I'm not the origin of all content. My thinking is that at this time, the system, when education came, I think some people, some philosophers or some people who had some good thinking sat down and then said, if we give like from 8 a.m. to 3, this time the mind is able to capture something and maybe keep it to the long-term memory, or is of the capability at this lifespan time, that time between 8 and 3:45. It's a time that the mind, if it's fed with information, it can take in
The information.
and store it. But now beyond this, it's upon what, we created different genetics and so I think this extra time, it's about what the student, and definitely the system will be providing other things, or the system before the remedial came, the system was providing other things. Think of a student who is a day scholar. At 3:45, he goes for games or other activities, and then at maybe 4, he's released for home. Upon reaching home, he'll go fetch firewood, do this, do that. And that doesn't mean that this student will be the last student when it comes to the KCPE and the KCSE. Some of these students are the best students that we even read in the magazines. And these students in boarding schools, others, they have from these 4, they have some 2 lessons, some additional to their advantage, and then they are waking up at 4 a.m. If this student in day schooling is waking up, actually they are not waking up. It's
and they wake up.
Who wakes up at that time. They make sure that they have something, they eat, and then they prepare for school. These are the students just wakes up, the first brush,
class,
having a shower, class, starting lessons. But these students do give us dismal marks. Okay, compared to other
dismal grades.
Yeah, dismal grades. Thank you. That is what I had to say.
Now, what I wanted to object was something you talked about motivation. Now we understand that motivation is it's just not a one way. There's a positive motivation and negative motivation. You understand?
Yeah.
Now when it comes to motivation of students, you understand a child if not motivated enough will not give his best. Will not perform at all. Or maybe yes, perform, but perform dismally or way below. Now,
before you go, Magara is trying to bring in the philosophy part of this story, but Magara, you are forgetting that we are Africans and we have been students at one point.
Now that is what I wanted to bring. What the CS is trying to bring in is a system used outside Africa. Understand, high schools in outside Africa, they only do day classes. After the day, they are engaged elsewhere in meaningful ways. Yes. You find a student up there, up country, they have everything disposable at them. You are given an assignment. That's why even they get time to pay Kenyan writers to do their work. You get that? Now, when it comes to motivation, students and children need to be motivated. African children, their motivation is discipline. Their motivation is engagement. You cannot just leave an African kid just like that and expect him or her.
In the sense that we don't have the resources.
Now, Chris, before we go on, I'd like you guys to tell us what you think in the comment section, because this is such a broad topic and everybody's gonna give their own reasons and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's the CS who knows what he's doing. But again, when the time comes, he's gonna give us what he has on the table or on his plate, and he's gonna share with us, this is why I did this, and these are the alternative solutions to this statement. Now, I thank you guys. Welcome.